Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 544 of Geeks in Space. This is The Thing. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda, and I am here with a group of gentlemen. Well, let's put it this way. We're going to draw a little of everybody's blood, and we're going to find out who's the Thing. We got Chris DeBona. Are you the Thing?
It was funny. We'll talk about this during the show, but one of the werewolf games, and now Among Us, it's like maybe they all got started with this movie.
Rob Roseboom?
I'm the Thing. Sorry.
Oh, well, that was easy. Nate Ostendorf?
Burn it!
Maybe we're at war with Norway.
Seems possible. Seems plausible.
Good times.
All right, so you guys know this. I think we've mentioned this because at the very beginning of the quarantine, I watched this movie for the first time ever. I'd never seen this as a kid, and this was like, in the the beginning of the pandemic. Everybody wants to have their list of bad, scary movies, and this one, for me, that was my introduction to this movie.
When I was a kid, this movie, I didn't get past that first dog scene. Not the shooting, but like later in the kennel.
In the kennel.
I was out. Like the second they saw any of the blood stuff, I was out. Like to the point where I didn't remember the spaceship.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm like, nope, out. It's too scary. I was a gentle boy.
This was one of the movies that I convinced my mom to take me to see at the Park Theater in Holland when I was 9.
Arla
dutifully took me to go watch The Thing.
Wow.
Was she at least knitting in the back row or something?
No, she watched all these movies with me. I mean, we went and saw a lot of crazy things.
That's great.
This is one of the better ones I made her sit through.
All right, folks. My other little bit of fun for this movie was that I actually had the 13-year-old who watched the entire thing with me, and he watched the entire thing without a second screen in front of him. And the only reason that he did that is because this movie now has a new cultural position because of the Among Us fad. Everybody knows that it references this movie.
Yep.
And it's a good one, guys.
It's a good one. Mm-hmm. And you have a lot of John Carpenter's standbys. So the thing I wanted to tell you about this, I actually didn't remember the scene when I started my rewatch an hour ago. And, my dad, one of the jobs he had when he worked at the Nevada test site was they would fly on helicopters and they would shoot at the wild horses to get them away from the test site before they blew it up, right? And then not to kill them, just to get them to run away. So we have these pictures of these wild horses from helicopters, and I'm like, yeah, maybe this is just that. Maybe they're trying to get the dog out of the way so they can go do their science.
I don't. I think they're just they really like shooting horses.
Yeah, well, they were blowing up nuclear weapons next to Las Vegas.
Kind of have a different set of morality.
That's a hard shot. Dogs can run pretty fast, and they're pretty small targets. And shooting it from a moving helicopter,
and you got the bright sky coming in at you, so everything's going to be backlit. This is a movie. I don't know. You can't say enough about John Carpenter. The man works with relatively little and does a lot.
So much.
Yeah.
All right.
So I like that there is a dedicated PC computer in 1982 called the Chess Wizard, which has what appears to be 48K on the spacebar that he plays chess against. And then at 5:43 here.
It's so funny.
5:43.
Yeah, play for a couple seconds here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he just hates the fact that it beats him, and he decides to destroy what is probably $5,000, $10,000 of hardware in 1982.
Easy.
48K of RAM.
48K of RAM with one of those, it was like a deck backplane style computer. I mean,
I'll tell you. Actually, let's jump back because my note on this was the fact that it has the Chess Wizard branding like on it. Mm-hmm. That puts this device into a completely different category. And there's a lot of this stuff, like they have a lot of stuff in this base that it doesn't seem like you would have in this base. Like there's like pinball tables and stuff. Like this is expensive stuff to ship. Like you bring like a deck of cards, you bring like a copy of Chutes and Ladders. But this Chess Wizard, this is a refrigerator in 1982. This is like you wheeled this in on a dolly.
Sure, yeah. Well, is it sitting on top of like a PDP-11 chassis? I didn't scrub around.
See, that's why the fact that it says Chess Wizard tells me that that it's a giant unit. They have the Chess Wizard. Yeah. It's like a refrigerator. It's for chessing.
It's like a pinball wizard, but for chess. Or It's like Chess King, the men's clothing store, but for the magicians. Oh, yeah. So I just said, listen, this is like a dig at Chevron, or this is a dig at the scientists who just left crap lying around.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that's the Chevron logo,
Yeah. So. Lots of room for Chevron containers.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they didn't pay to be highlighted as trash in the
product placement here. Chevron gas burns aliens good.
I prefer the diesel to the unleaded.
Well, also, I gotta tell you, they don't give that many explosives to just a little small science station. So these Norwegians, why do they have so many explosives? And come on, dude.
So I think it was supposed to be what they used to blow up the ice in their excavation.
That's not how you get in the ice.
No, it's true.
So go ahead. You have a comment about this one?
Oh yeah, no, I just liked. So El Capitan here assesses the situation immediately, like within a second, and we're going to see it in maybe 1 to 2 seconds. Shoots one single shot to end the whole thing.
Yeah.
Pew.
Well, that's how you know this is the American base, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they've shot how many bullets to try to get that dog, and I'm surprised none of the people outside had sidearms.
Yeah. No, that's really a good point. Like when they were shooting from the helicopter, I'm like, it's actually a really hard shot to make. Like a moving dog from a moving helicopter from a variable height. I mean, that is not an easy shot.
For sure. But, and flying a helicopter is in and of itself a crazy difficult thing. Tracking an animal is a crazy difficult. For sure, but there's like 8 different things that trained military people would have to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. No, so the thing that I said about that part at 8:42 is that the single pane, that's not Arctic glass.
Yeah.
I mean,
not when it's 100 below. He's not just like, eh.
I mean, so I went to the Arctic, above at the Arctic Circle. It wasn't at the North.
Actually, it does look like, sorry, that shot right there.
2 panes.
That looks like multiple panes. You're right. Huh. So maybe they got their shit together, but it's not tempered. It's not laminated.
Look, we're gonna have to have look at this is double paned right there too, man. There's no continuity.
Okay, you're right. I take it all back.
Take it back. This movie is flawless.
This movie has accurate glass. I appreciate that.
The Glazier score is 10 out of 10.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, these details are important. If you're in the Arctic, you got to act like it. Just saying.
Maybe we had war with Norway.
That's our introduction to that character, and I just thought that's very plausible. They decided to launch their attack front in the Antarctic research base.
I also I guess we'll get there, but the cast of this movie, every single character is like distilled down to like 3 notes, like the perfect chord. You know what I mean? Like there's C major. There's like everybody is like the just the basic version of their thing. It's like a dance troupe movie almost.
I mean, this movie, Keith David, Wilford Brimley. I mean,
yep.
Richard Dysart. You remember Richard Dysart is the one that the Cambot just adored in Mystery Science Theater 3000? That's the guy. Like, I mean, they have every actor.
Look at
like
this.
Every Donald Moffat. I mean,
yeah.
How could
this guy?
How efficient of gross can you be? And he gets a good ending, but like you got every aspect of costume, having stuff
holding. Starting his scene with the roach clip is just a great.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
But every character, I think, is kind of given enough elements of that. Like there's a lot of movies spend way too much time on their character development. You don't always need character development. These characters are expendable. We know what they are. Give us as much as you can as quickly as possible, so we know, do we like him or not? That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Give him some good memorable lines. Let's see.
So here are several shots in sequence which are intended just to give you the setting, like they're just intended to show you, like, here's where you are, here's what it is. And my first thought, like, I watched this right after they had called lockdown in Michigan again, and I was like, hey, that's not a bad place to do lockdown. They've got some rec rooms, they've got a nice kitchen, like, they've got plenty of room.
I'd love a ping pong table.
It's pretty good. Well, so the other thing, the computer voice during the simulation, it's Adrienne Barbeau, who we remember from Escape from New York, who was involved with John Carpenter. This is like the John Carpenter special. It's all of his normal guys and gals, you know?
So I have a practical question, which he just did it, I think, but it happens throughout, which is they use flares for their light sources all the time. Am I missing something? That seems like a really inefficient way to do that.
Well, so you have to remember, back then, first of all, there weren't any lithium-ion batteries. But even like gel cell batteries and the rest, in the cold, they're very hard to use, right?
Good point.
But flares, you pop and they're on, right? So, you know, you having a flare is going to be handy in the deep cold. So.
Right, that kind of gets to my point at 1843 here, where at least for me, one of the most unbelievable parts of this movie is that he takes that Coleman style lamp and gets it going in like 10 seconds. And if any of you have had to deal with one of those monsters, you know that is like 15 minutes bare minimum. Your dad swearing because he can't get it going. It's a pain.
Is that one of the ones with like the tungsten sleeve around the gas or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, and you gotta pump them up, and it's a pain.
Yeah.
This, if you play about, I don't know, maybe 2-3 seconds, I just liked that there are a few shots in quick succession. You have his razor blade, his like half decapitated head, the frozen blood coming off of his arm, and like very nice visual storytelling. Like they're not like, oh, he killed himself. It's just like, nope, you see it. It happened.
It's not like 5 minutes of Mulder and Scully looking at clues.
No.
Doing this.
But it gives you, it gives you a really good advantage too, because by making it quick, it can be shocking, and then you can kind of get out. You can't be as shocking, I suppose, if it's the traditional investigation of the thing. The thing.
Oh, this is interesting. So do you know who is the writer of The Thing? It was John Campbell. John Campbell. Huh. Go figure.
Did not know that. One more minute. This is 21:19.
Shows how good I am.
I just like this shot, the framing, like
it's such a good shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, there's no like narrative. There's no like, well, what could this be? It's just
look.
Yep.
It was an ice block. You know?
Yep. Something was here. Now it's not. What the hell happened?
Although when they show where they excavated it, I have some questions of the logistics, but that's
Yeah,
a different
yeah.
thing.
Yep.
Well, no, they just used one thermite bomb and it came out as a square, as a cube.
I did have to have a discussion with my child about thermite. We should get some thermite. Is basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, they probably sell that at the local, fireworks store.
In Trump country, yeah.
Yeah, tannerite. Is tannerite just thermite? You buy a box of that, right? Just don't tell them you're in a militia or something. You'll be fine.
No, it's Michigan. You're required to be.
Yeah, they shoot
you know
tannerite
that-
all the time across the street.
Yep.
So it was like year before last, one of the gender reveal fires was actually caused by somebody. They had a tannerite round that had like a pink dye in it and a tannerite round that had a blue dye in it. And so they just shot it.
Oh man.
Safe.
And it lit half of California on fire.
You should get out of that state.
Good story.
I'll think about it.
All right.
So yeah, this is our first kind of somewhat gory part of the movie, and play just a couple of seconds here.
We found this.
Again, like, not a lot of dialogue, just
But also the model
So
itself,
It's interesting.
is like they and again well shot because they're not like just giving you lots like a big full on let's shoot it in profile. It's all bits and pieces and segments, and excluding like the weird double face thing. It's all like if they maybe like even the double face thing, like just the shots are not held very long. They know the limitations of their props.
Yeah.
God,
What a movie.
this is good, man. I love this.
Great movie.
Oh, wait.
yeah, there's the double face, and here you have a very this was my favorite shot of Kurt Russell in this movie because he's got the sort of pensive look and just looks cute as hell, like with his mullet and his beard. I don't know. It's just a great Kurt Russell shot.
He is truly a beautiful man. There's a arc I think to be written somewhere about the evolution as we start with like the Kurt Russell, like the grizzly Kurt Russell, but not like a Hulk of a man, and then we sort of have to step through and ultimately culminating in the Sylvester Stallones and Arnold Schwarzeneggers. There's a story in that. I imagine there's probably 1,000 YouTubers who've already done that.
Yeah, probably.
I did have to
Why is
explain.
this guy wearing sunglasses?
It's night. You wear your sunglasses at night.
So he can.
So you can.
Yes.
Watching it.
Yeah, this is super gross.
That's so gross, dude.
It's time for the alien autopsy. This is like the video we watched in the
prototype.
90s or whatever.
This is the prototype. So many things this movie did first and so well. I mean, yes, there was all the black and white science fiction and the crappy serials, but this movie's perfect. It's such a perfect movie.
Wilford Brimley throughout this entire scene.
Totally.
He's just because he's not what I think of as Wilford Brimley. Because my Wilford Brimley is Cocoon, and then also The Firm. And so this he's almost believable to me as I'm this guy. He's acting.
My Wilford Brimley is Our Town and Hucking Oatmeal.
Oh.
So here's my problem with this. And it goes back to my problem with the show Fear the Walking Dead.
Okay.
In the show Fear the Walking Dead, the premise is that zombies come up, but no one believes zombies are real. So that's how they get a foothold, right? When I think if a zombie apocalypse happened today, so many people watch so many zombie movies that immediately someone would be like, oh, this is a zombie apocalypse. Now you look at this, and they're dissecting this thing here, and it's not like this guy just took some medication where the side effects were face warping and too many limbs. You know what I mean? This is clearly a monster of some type, and no one takes any care at all
Yeah,
to
whatever.
make sure that they don't get infected or
Yeah.
anything.
No.
So
This is fine.
Like first thing you got to do, cut right into that.
right.
Yeah. No. I don't know. I love that model. I love everything about this movie.
Yep.
I'm gonna
great
just say
movie.
that a lot.
It is a fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Here he is getting stoned again.
I was
And
glad
where
that
is
my
he
kid didn't
storing
ask me about
pot
this.
in the 80s in the Arctic? Did he just bring like an enormous amount of marijuana with him?
He had to.
Is he growing it there somehow? I don't know.
That's
I
why
also,
they're at war with the Norwegians.
Yeah.
Well,
The weed wars have been brutal this season.
Yeah.
I also again the only sort of part of this scene is he lights up a joint, and the other guy just reaches his hand out and holds it out, and that's kind of the whole that they kept that shot in to show you hey, these are the stoners, these are the stoner roommates.
Well, again,
okay,
very
I know this has
efficient with their
nothing to do
story
with the
use.
movie, but do you remember how I told y'all that I have no idea how I pay for HBO?
Are you paying for HBO again?
No, I'm still paying for it, but I'm in my AT&T account here, and it says that I get HBO for free if I use my AT&T ID. So I'm still paying for it. I have it free from AT&T. I have it free from my wife's T-Mobile account, and I cannot use either of them. So that's all I wanted to share. I'm sorry for the distraction.
I think we might have gotten as far into the movie as Chris watched. So I think
I got further.
I think from now on it's just him paying bills, and we're gonna he's gonna let us know, oh man, the shipped order was really expensive this week. We probably got extra bacon or something.
Yeah. So this scene just shows you why it's important to keep up on your heartworm and parasite medication for your dogs, even in the Arctic. You never know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of blip a little bit through here on some frame by frame, because this scene, throughout this entire scene, to be totally clear, I don't think I watched this scene. I just watched my kid watch this scene. I was like,
the spider legs coming out, and the dog kind of biting its way out of the kennel is pretty significant.
But again, super dark. We don't hold on the model. Like something like that is one of the.
It's scary.
I mean, it's got the dog. When the dog comes back later, and oh my god.
Yeah. No. More body gore. This one I really liked because I think it's the closest representation that I've seen to a legit wall of flesh.
So great.
It's Akira. We were trying to figure out movies after we watched this that would be vaguely in the same vein, that the kid might be interested in, and the two that came to mind for me were Alien and Akira.
Did you guys ever see Hardware?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if it was I'm trying to remember which movie I saw late at night that had the whole blood flesh wall.
That was the Care Bears. Tenderheart.
Okay.
When Tenderheart unleashes the beam from his Care Bear stare, it's truly terrifying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and there's walls of flesh everywhere. All right, what's Wilford Brimley got to say?
So, actually, the thing I had from this scene, let's see if I can catch all the shot. In this scene, he pokes the monster with his eraser. And then, a couple seconds later, they show him touching it, and then, let's see if I can get it. Does he do it? He puts this thing back in his mouth, man. I don't know if I can...
My line that I liked that Wilford Brimley says is, "That's not dog, it's imitation." And I thought that is a great slogan for my dog meat company that brands itself as having real dog meat. So someone else gets gets the cheap stuff, and that's not dog. It's imitation.
It's imitation dog.
And you have Wilford Brimley do it because he's been
Yep.
slinging oats for so long.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He would come out there and he'd be like, "Let me tell you a little something about dog meat. You can have this one, or you can have imitation." And it'd be epic. You would sell all the dog meat. Not that I endorse dog meat selling.
All right, yeah, Nate, go get started on this.
Oh, I just so actually I think I'm a couple seconds off here. If you
The
go
scene of
forward a little
the
bit.
ship from above,
Yep.
it's epic. It is so epic.
So just play forward a little bit. Yeah, like you get a couple shots of it, but
Yeah.
like it took me a full 10 seconds of seeing it to being like, oh, it's a big flying saucer.
Because it's not a very good
There
matte
it is.
painting. Here we go. This one's better, but there's one where it's not a very good matte painting. It's
No.
this one. This is not a very good. Like, it's not convincing at this depth. But yeah, there's a big spaceship, of course. I
And-
guess the Swedes had it.
Check out the hat. Huh?
Yeah, I know. He
What
looks
a
like he's gonna
fantastic hat.
prospect for gold here.
I knew I wouldn't have to add this scene because there was no way y'all were gonna leave this hat behind. This hat is stupid. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look
No.
smart.
Oh.
It takes away from the movie. The second that hat comes on the screen, you're like, oh, this is the Hat movie.
I think I'm sussing Kurt Russell.
I
Also,
think I think he just wears it, to stave off the horror.
also,
Why?
like
He's wearing it wrong.
it's like 60 below, and Kurt Russell wears basically a slightly heavy jacket. Oh, this, Rob, I thought of you because, like, this was probably legit ASCII or ANSI art right here.
So I had a couple of thoughts about this. First of all, I was trying to remember what the 4 words were. It was like, what, human, woman, camera, man, TV. I feel like
human person, woman.
this might be
Cell
like a version of
dog. Yeah.
that.
Camera.
But the other thing about it is that if you watch this, I think it was done in 2 passes. I think the text is being done with one, and the ASCII art is because the 2 are slightly like off center
text-
from each other.
Well, the text is definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are composited for sure.
And that's weird.
It is.
But like the fact that someone,
In
had
fact, I think it's
16 color ANSI and decided, okay, here's our graphics technology. Here's what we're doing.
Yeah, that looks, for whatever it's worth, that looks like somebody's real like graphics demo, like on a VIC 20 or something. That's probably
Vic
about
20's around in '82. Yeah, I guess
that's about the era.
about the right time. Yeah.
But yep, it does. The text kind of looks like an Apple IIe.
Yeah.
It probably is an
Yeah.
Apple.
It's probably an Apple II.
I imagine you could do that much motion on that without a problem. I'm gonna try to get my mouse into the right window. That's an organism. Good.
Yeah. And this, I felt like, probably in 2017, someone saw something similar about COVID and was like, nah, it's just the flu.
It's just the flu, Nate. Sigh. We got
Who's Governor Whitmer in this movie?
Oh, we're jumping.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're jumping through a lot of. So if I get that shot. Every time I see this guy, I think he looks like Jeff Lynne. And I was really hoping that he was going to be busting out some like greatest hits of ELO. But that never happened, and I was very bummed.
No Mr. Blue Sky for you.
Nope. There are witchy women, but they might actually just be the thing.
So the internet tells us that both the chess wizard and the other computer were Apple IIs. So, there you go.
So, like, I know that they are at this point absolutely terrified there's some sort of alien creature that's hunting them down and everything. But I can't help but think maybe Wilford wouldn't have spazzed out if he had a nice breakfast, maybe a big bowl of oatmeal in the morning.
Yep.
He could have had his head on a little bit straighter.
Yep.
You know, it could have been low blood sugar, because the other
Yeah.
thing that Wilford Brimley, was frequently associated with was getting your diabetes medication
That's
mailed to
true.
you at home.
Yeah, but you mispronounced it. It's
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes, that's true.
If we're gonna make fun of the dead man, then we should do it right.
Yeah. No, is he dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, that's too. I guess the oatmeal.
It's not
didn't-
too long ago
No.
either.
No, not that long ago. All right, this is for you, Rob.
That's right. Cocoon actor dies.
Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
You just
Remember,
like
I just talked.
Next one is 53.
When you stopped where I said, and then I said stuff.
it said 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I was waiting to play your 5 seconds.
This. All right, play this. There it is. The old police squad throwing the pistol when I run out of ammo. I love
Yep.
that move.
For sure.
He carries it too. Like, that is an Oscar-worthy performance.
Don't wait. Somebody in this camp ain't what he appears to be. Right now, that may be one or two of us. By spring, it could be all of us.
And here we get the plot. Like,
Yep.
the rest of the movie is Among Us.
Yep.
And it's interesting that he thinks it will take as long as spring.
Yeah.
Since it's been, like 12 hours and,
Yep.
a third of the crew is gone.
Right. We've already seen, what, like 10 or 11 deaths?
Yeah.
This thing takes its time. That's what we know about it. It's patient. It's a patient thing. All right. So now we actually jumped a pretty long ways. We jumped 20 minutes.
So this part, this part seemed like a more standard movie to me. Like,
Yeah.
you have people turning against each other. There's actually not a lot of like alien sightings. It's all just about the psychological part of it.
Yep, it's setting up everyone's distrust of everyone.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a wind up box. You've wound it up. Now you get to see it open up, and we get to see who gets to die. Aw. Oh,
Oh, back a couple frames. This part, I just giggled. I thought this was great. Guy's dead. He's giving him the paddles, and oh no!
Jump,
Oh, that's
scream and
that's,
yell,
oh,
and then
no!
oh look, and then it's super gross, and then
man.
there's my arms. I'll just cut off that. So that was the other moment in the movie where I was watching my kid out of the corner of the eye, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" And there was a whole lot of, yeah.
I think that's delightful.
My kid wouldn't have lasted the first 5 minutes of this movie, so I don't know what you're doing with your 13-year-old.
I watched just as bad as this when I was 13. I could bike to Family Video and rent anything on the rated R shelf.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I watched this when I was 9.
This actually explains a lot about y'all.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Unattended childhood, man. It's not really the idea.
This show though,
It's so
scary.
good.
Jeremy Allison. Jeremy Allison of Samba. You guys all know.
Yes.
He will not watch this movie to this day. It scared him so bad when he was a kid. Oh, the head spider!
The
The
No!
head spider's the best.
Here it is. Perhaps for me, I love monster movies, right? And this is it for me. This is what I remember from this movie, The Head Spider. It has to be one of the top 10 best monsters in any horror movie. And I love that it's just practical effects.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that is amazing.
And
Yeah, come on, give us a couple seconds.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
so
puppetry, man.
it's got some guys got.
And I love that, like, it kind of just sneaks around, no one notices it, and then they're like, oh no.
yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
Also,
spider.
they have a remarkably durable base. You know, they use a lot of fire
Yeah,
a long
they
time
do.
before there's any real consequence. So
They have access to a lot of things that I just don't think that they should have as much access to. They shouldn't have that many flares. They shouldn't have that many grenades. They shouldn't have...
Or flamethrowers.
yeah, well, what are they researching that they have all this equipment? Is
Well,
my question.
Okay,
You know?
here's a question I truthfully don't really know the answer to. Is a flamethrower actively an effective tool for, like, working around snow, like excavation?
Well,
Yeah,
if you're fighting like elemental creatures, you know, I imagine
For
fire's
sure.
+1. So
you guys live in Michigan. If you go to your local hardware store, they have the little things you put on your propane tank. Some people plow their driveways with that stuff in Minnesota.
You're not from Michigan. You don't know.
I know you have these things.
and
Come on.
nobody
probably hand you a
plows
hand
their
on the
driveway
way
with
in.
fire.
That's not a
Nobody
thing.
plows their driveway with fire, dude.
Have you considered it? Just saying.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
Every
there's
winter.
There's a number of emergency room visits in Minnesota for exactly this. People screwing up when they're flamethrowing their driveway.
Do you think
I
that
think
this
maybe
is more
other
like,
things involved there.
like the Saturday Night Live
Flamethrower.
sketch where it's just everybody's got something different stuck up their butt? You think it's more like that?
Yeah, basically.
But
Flamethrower
with fire.
driveway emergency room visits. Virginia man uses flamethrower to clear snow off driveway. I mean,
it's
man
not
uses
a
flamethrower to clear
normal
driveway
thing,
storm.
Chris.
Bare ground
I
BB-100
had-
Bear Blaster
I had no
propane.
choice
come on.
during this scene. I had to shake my fist and yell, "I'm not paying to heat outside." I think that my child respected me a little less in that moment, and I didn't know that there was, less.
Oh, I love this. There's a comment on one of the stories. Who needs a shovel when you have a flamethrower? Okay, sorry.
You can shovel
Got a
my
little
driveway,
distracted.
dude. Oh,
Yeah.
This bothered me on a lot of levels. I was unclear about this space. Was this carved out of the ice? Why does it have pipes in it? Is it an actual structure that's just like had moisture freeze in it?
Why are there icicles off the pipes?
Who
Wouldn't
would
the
carve
pipes have burst?
steps into ice but then install a railing? I'm confused by this.
You should be. It's inconsistent with the facts of Arctic construction. Like
They're just setting fire to the base. Like that's the only thing that's going on here.
I think that's you, Chris.
Really? I'm gonna need one for...
Next note is mine, I think, which is at 38:35.
All right. I was just taking my time getting there because this is our last note.
Yeah, I mean this is our final hurrah. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, his FU note. I think it's like a very lame line, but just so delightful.
Fuck you too!
This content is not suitable for children.
Yeah.
And then we end with, I guess, the question, right? Because what do we have? The two of them just sitting on the bridge trying to decide?
Yeah, they decide just to freeze to death.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's the end.
Yeah.
Is it?
I mean, until what, 2011, when Mary Elizabeth Winstead gets to make a new one.
Yeah. Well.
And they come and try to figure out what's happened with the research station, and they're like, oh, hey, there's this alien thing. Let's cut it open. And basically,
that's probably fine. So, yep.
That sound thing ain't me, man. There's something else going down.
All right. I'll, well, that was our last note, so I'll figure it out in a minute and a half.
So I just want to point out that if you're an alien invading a Arctic armory station, probably don't hide on top of the thermite grenades. Just saying.
That makes sense.
Good tip.
Such a good movie.
This is like of the genre of the monster. Like this might be the best. Like you can make a case for that for this kind of genre of movie. It's right there.
Yeah, the special effects are great, and the guy in charge, I mean, literally put his all into it. He worked such long hours, and that he ended up getting ulcers. He was hospitalized for dehydration. I guess it was just like, it was insane because the studio didn't want to give him enough money to finish it and do all the things he wanted to. So he had to come up with, ways to do things cheaper. Like a lot of the stuff you see is like creamed corn that he figured out if you would mix it with Jello, it could look sort of more gelatinous and stuff. I mean, just really, really interesting to read about the guy in charge of the special effects for this, because it was a huge passion project for him, and it literally almost killed him.
This is.
But the output, it's something he can be proud of. I
Oh,
mean,
absolutely.
If you're gonna get an ulcer, it should be for something that lasts like this, and just like people go, I can't believe this happened in 1982. Like that guy was the GOAT.
The thing that I thought was interesting was just how like this movie, when it came out, was kind of like panned as a gore fest.
Yep.
And then more recently, people are like, "Oh no, the Thing. That's a pretty good movie."
Well, it didn't make all that much money.
No.
The ultimate barometer of the quality of any piece of art, right, is how much money it makes. It was not a big deal. It was always on the shelf at the video rental place, though. You could always see it, which is why it's weird to me that I never saw it as a kid. Because I always saw it at the video rental place, and I never pulled the box off the shelf.
And let me point something out. This is 1 year after Escape from New York. Think of the incredible advance and improvement in John Carpenter's movie making, Kurt Russell's acting, like the effects, like it's night and day. Yeah, Escape from New York was made for $14 and a pack of gum, but like Kurt Russell has got to be a better actor because he was terrible in Escape from New York. I mean,
he was definitely on the screen.
He was on the screen. I will give you
that. All right. So we do have to decide now how many weeks we have until Christmas, because I don't know when we want to start throwing Christmas movies in gear, because next week is Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. Now, whose turn is it?
So
Chris.
We skipped Chris, so it's his turn.
Yeah. So I unless you guys want to skip me until the next time. So I have what I consider a Christmas movie, because there is Christmas music, a Christmas tree, and various Christmas accoutrements in the church.
That's fine. Do you want to start Christmas movies now?
Well, I was just looking at how many weeks we have, or how many Wednesdays, because I'm assuming we'll miss 1 and 5.
Right. So then we have to, if each of us picks a Christmas sort of movie.
If each of us is going to do one Christmas movie, then we got to start next week.
Okay, so I consider They Live a Christmas movie, and it is the logical next John Carpenter movie to watch. And it's so good.
I'm in.
So 1988's They Live.
They Live.
And remember, inside the church, there's a fake like Christmas thing so they don't go into the church.
We'll let you spend 7 minutes next week, Thursday or Tuesday or Wednesday, and tell us why it's a Christmas movie, and we'll nod politely because it's a good movie.
It's a great movie,
and that's better than wait till you see what I'm going to make you watch.
I was thinking this or Big Trouble in Little China because they're both favorites and they're both Kurt Russell.
Ooh,
so there you go. Yeah.
What's funny is my pick was, if you weren't going to do it, was They Live.
It's so good. Awesome. Yeah. And it's got perfect. Keith David. It's got, it's got everything. It's got it all. It's got that weird Meg Foster with her weird eyes, and it's great.
Gentlemen, I still am not sure which of us is the Thing. We'll have to figure it out next week. Thank you, Chris DeBona.
Thank you for having me. I'm sorry.
Rob Roseboom.
I clearly already told you that I'm the thing. I don't know why you won't believe me. I'm basically asking to be burned alive, and no one will burn me.
We can't just get flamethrowers at the grocery store and burn people here, Rob. It's Michigan. It's not Minnesota. Thank you, Nate Ostendorf.
You have to mail order them from Elon Musk. See you guys.
All right, folks. I'm Rob Commander Taco Maldo. This has been Geeks in Space 544. We'll see you whenever we get around to doing the news.